Hey, this is Dr.Vance Hardisty, and I'm in Imphal, actually outside of Imphal, about an hour in the state of Manipur in India. And you can see in the background the place where we're teaching. There's my daughter and son are teaching right now. I just got done teaching, about 150 kids in there, and they're having a great time. We're all having a great time. God's being very gracious. But I wanted to teach just a couple of quick lessons about leadership, especially from what we've been encountering here over the last, about the last 24 hours. So we stayed in a place that was just, how can I say, when you arrive at a place, and we try very hard not to stay in American hotels with American amenities. And so we pick places that are opportunities for ministry, and places that won't use up the donors' funds. And so the place that we picked was a little bit risky. It was not certainly on any travel site, and it was subpar to even the worst that we'd usually dealt with. And we had an opportunity, and this is where the right type of leadership steps in. We had an opportunity to either look at the problems that were filling the place, or to change the approach that we were making to that place, having to that place, and change it to something that would actually make it a positive experience. And I remember looking at one of the team members, and the team member had just come to me and had gone down the list of everything that was wrong. And frankly, she was right. I mean, dead on. In fact, she wasn't even saying all the things that were wrong. We discovered more things later on that night. And the things that were wrong were not minor. But it was 10:30 at night, and there was not a whole lot more that we could do. And so as a leader, you hear what it is that people say to you. You sympathize with it, you empathize with it, you realize that they're correct, but that there's nothing that you can do about it, at least that particular time. Then you have to help them refocus, to be able to see things differently, to be able to realize that, okay, this is not what we had expected, this is not what we wanted, and it's certainly not anything that's comfortable, but it's not going to kill us. And so we went through each one of the items, and when we got to the end of it, I said, let's just, for a second, let's just reminisce on what the Apostle Paul went through as he was sharing the gospel. And so we went through some of his experiences as he encountered jail and beatings and all the rest of the stuff. And when I got done, she looked at me and she said, "Yeah, I suppose you're right. We can deal with it." And everything changed. So, first lesson of leadership that came out of that one is that leaders have to be willing to reframe things for those who are working with them. Now, I know I've said that in a bunch of different ways, but I can't tell you how utterly, vitally important it is to keep a team together, to keep a team on target, to keep a team energized and focused, and to prevent a team from getting discouraged, especially when there's a spiritual battle that's going on. All right, I got to get back in. I got to finish this next part, and I'll continue this in just a few minutes. So it's the next day. We finished that camp, and I'm back in Imphal. We're about to leave again to be able to do the second day of work with the kids. We have a 3-day camp that we're doing, and the kids are getting all the materials put together for the camp, for the teaching. But I wanted to finish up what I had started, and that was the utter necessity of being able, as a leader, to refocus the surroundings, refocus the happening, refocus the quote-unquote facts that are perhaps dragging down your team and making it so that they can't do what it is that they've been called to do. It doesn't matter whether you're in India, it doesn't matter whether you're in China, it doesn't matter if you're in San Francisco, California. This is going to be the reality of life for any leader that has a team. And so to go back to refocusing your team being utterly important, the thing that you've got to do before you can refocus your team is to refocus yourself. And you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You need to, and the only way that you can actually refocus yourself is to be able to first spend time in prayer. You need to be in tune with what the Holy Spirit has actually called you to do, where He's called you to be, what He's called you to accomplish, and what that means for the future and what that means for the future of the people who surround you. Because if that's not uppermost in your mind, if that's not primary, if that's not something that just drives you and compels you, then I can promise you, you won't be able to refocus your own thinking. And the result is that in the end, you won't be able to have that driving passion, that calmness, that joy to refocus the people that are on your team. And so spending time with the Lord each day, sensing what it is that He's called you to do, despite the surrounding look and the sound and the smells and the arguments and all the rest of that stuff, sensing what He's called you to do, and then being able to take that, how do you say that vision of the future and offer that as a balm or a salve to the problems that are arising in the hearts and the lives of the people that are on your team. That is one of the major calls of being an effective and a dynamic leader. And again, that goes for no matter where you are, who you are, or what role you play in the whole leadership spectrum of your organization. All right, so we'll be back with another teaching on both leadership and what makes an effective speaker. We'll be back with you, I think probably tomorrow. But again, this is Vance Hardisty, and as you can see from, I'm just going to do a round here. This is Vance Hardisty, and I'm downtown Imphal in Manipur, India.